I am Marcus James Dixon with Gold Derby, and we would like to welcome JB Smoove, star of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which
Whew.
just ended its 12-year run on HBO.
Wow.
JB, tell me about your final day on set. What was the emotions that was going through your brain? I mean, you've played this character, Leon Black, since 2007.
Yeah, man. It felt, uh, you know what? I don't know how I felt. It's weird because when Larry took off 6 years between seasons, I was like, okay, it might be over. But you find yourself busy enough where you're not sure if he's coming back, but you know the show is popular. You know people want the show to come back. You know Larry may come back. I think Larry even one season killed himself off one season. We don't know what this man's thinking half the time. So for me, it was like, and like you said, I came in '07. So this train was already boogieing, you know? They had already got a bunch of seasons in already before I jumped on that train. So for me, it felt like it felt like I just met everybody. It's like so weird. But everybody together, you know, I've seen all these amazing guest stars. I've seen
Mm.
these amazing people, how they connect with each other, how they have history with each other. I jumped in there, man, and just got soaked in their generosity, man, and their creativity and their talents, man, and not cast and crew. These people are amazing. So it was definitely a sad day, but
Mm.
it's also a day of being on the fence about what's really gonna happen from knowing Larry David, knowing the world's changing constantly, knowing Larry loves to engage with people, knowing Larry loves what the show brings to people's hearts. And maybe Larry will hear enough of, you got to bring the show back, or we're gonna miss you guys. But I can't be selfish because it's a lot of parts to this show.
Mm.
I can say I will miss the show. I can say, anything and everything I have done, Curb has come first. When Larry calls, I answer the phone, I answer the call, and I find out what else is on the agenda in my career, and I say, hey, man, I got to carve out Curb. Everything is carve out Curb, carve out Curb. Every contract, carve out Curb in case Curb comes back.
Mm.
So definitely, it was. You know what? I I get sad watching other people sad. You know what I mean? That gets me more than myself because I know the long road these people have done on this show, and I was just blessed to be a part of it. So I was happy to be able to, you know, um, have this amazing manifestation come to light. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And be a part of it and grow with these people. And sad day, but I felt sadder for everybody else who
Mm.
these are real friends too. They're real friends. I just
Right.
became a friend.
Yeah, I mean, even though you did come late to the show, I mean, you've been a part of Curb now for, I can't do the math, 15 years or so.
Yeah, 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 man. It's definitely has been an amazing process, man. Amazing show to be a part of, man. And you know what? I think it's too early. It's too early. Maybe here's what I know happens every year, every year and a half, every 2 years, whatever it is. We always start shooting in October.
Hmm.
Maybe October, I'll think about it and say, damn, my Octobers are normally already filled in, and I normally shoot Curb. We will get 2 episodes done. Then we'll take the break off for the holiday and come back in January, ready to go again. And I won't have that this year.
Mm.
I won't have that this year. So I'll feel it into the year. I'll feel it and say, man, this time I will be doing Curb again.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great show to be a part of, man. It truly is.
Whenever you and Larry David were on screen together, it really was quite this hilarious, buddy comedy. And was that always the intention that you two would just kind of hit off between each other, or did that come later?
You know what? I truly believe when I got to the show, because Curb is so we have an outline. We don't know. We have no one has any idea what the plan is because the show is basically being constructed while you're doing it. So it's this thing where, it's probably a part of how life really is. Sometimes you can take a job, you can take a relationship, you can take a friend. You know what I mean? Have you ever had a friend and they had a friend and that friend introduced you to that friend to that friend, and all of a sudden you and that friend became better friends than that friend and that friend? Isn't that weird? And they say,
Yeah.
"Hey man, you stole my friend." No, I didn't steal your friend. Just hit it off. And I think that's how it kind of worked with this show. I think somehow, some way, JB Smoove or Leon and Larry hit it off somehow. And the show itself hit it off with each other. And all of a sudden, it became this thing where, I felt like that, but I'm sure they probably felt the same way. How do we move forward without this character? Because I think this character fits. And I think me and Larry met and fit years ago and didn't even know it. Because I truly believe everything that happened to me leading up to getting on that show was already set in motion already. I truly believe that. My wife told me I was going to be on the show. I got this. I didn't get re-signed on SNL that season, that next season. I fired my old agent. I got rid of them, and uh, I came to LA for one day for a friend's memorial service. If even one of those things didn't happen, I wouldn't be in that audition with Larry David.
Right.
So that's how I gotta look at it. I gotta look at it as, wow, all this thing was supposed to happen. Me and Larry have got a lot in common too. Two different walks of life, of course, but somehow these two guys connected outside of the character.
Mm-hmm.
We're both New Yorkers, you know. We both worked at SNL. We both didn't have big success writing for SNL. A lot of our stuff didn't make it. People didn't understand us, A lot of things. Yankee fans, suffering Jet fans, all these things that me and Larry have in common, we have in common on camera. We have on camera chemistry.
Yeah.
We have things in common off camera that we are passionate about. That's something else. And I think I found a way to merge the two to make it convincing and make it work on camera so that we look comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes with knowing. People always ask, how many Larrys is it? What's the difference between TV Larry and real Larry? I always say TV Larry has a bunch of shit. Real Larry got a bunch of shit, but it's still shit.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to operate in that man's mind, you got to know that Larry got a lot of shit that comes with him. And it works though. It works because I think New Yorkers have a certain temperament. We have a certain thing we do. Even when we can be getting insulted, but we get it because we're New Yorkers. We roll with it. We kind of, we just have this thickness to us thick skin to us. That's something. I don't know what it is. I call it, you got thick skin like a rhino ass. You got this thing on you, you know what I mean? And a rhinoceros is a thick animal. They can't
Yes.
penetrate that thing. I think we have that. And I think that gives us this take on life that's unique. And I think that's the fun part about
Mm-hmm.
meeting that guy and working with that guy. But I do think that we don't know. And I've heard stories where they didn't know who Leon was until I walked in the room. I've heard those stories, you know. In ending the show, I pick up things that I didn't know, I wasn't privy to. Like they bring up the audition process, they'll bring up me and Larry's chemistry. We'll bring up not knowing what was going to transpire between Leon coming in that door, with his sister and the family already there. The man didn't have an origin. The man just kind of showed up at his house and somehow befriended him. Somehow he carved a way into the show, and he became the one remaining piece of that family that ended up staying.
Mm-hmm.
I truly don't think that was the plan originally. I truly believe it just became so fun working together. But I think that happens in a show that's improvised. If you're gonna improvise the show, you gotta improvise everything a part of it. Everything has to be improvised in the process, casting, moving forward. What do we think about keeping them on for next season? We don't know. I don't. I never got a chance to find out all those details, but I hear little bits at a time. But I
Hmm.
find it fascinating because I truly believe you show up on time, you work late, and you come early, and somehow, you go as far as you can go with things, and somehow, I always say this: when I do auditions or when I do anything on camera, I always go as far as I can go with it, and I allow them to pull me back.
Hmm.
Everybody knows how to turn down. Nobody knows how to turn up. Turn up is the hard. If someone says, give me more," and you give them so much the next time, and you still got to come down anyway. So why not just go and swing for the fences the first take and allow them to say, pull back a little bit, because everybody knows how to pull back a little bit. And I think that's my philosophy and how to grow and how to um, connect with your co-star and all that, you know. But I learned a lot also from Larry. I learned a lot from Bob Einstein. I learned a lot from everybody on the show. Richard Lewis, man, jeez,
Uh,
jeez,
yeah,
he was like incredible, incredible. One of my
incredible
heroes.
man. I was so sad when he passed away in February. As the final season was airing, we did get to see a few episodes with him in it after he passed away. Do you have a favorite memory of Richard Lewis?
Man, we were we actually did a few shows together. And I remember we had to do press. Now, me and Richard had at that point we had never done a scene together,
Uh,
and he would call Larry the Hog because he said Larry hogs me. He said, it's almost as if Larry hasn't shared me with anybody else. And I told him, I said, maybe Leon's not even real. Maybe Leon is a figment of his imagination of something that he needs in his life, but he wasn't never ever able to acquire. I said, maybe Larry's Big Bird and Leon's Snuffleupagus. So, and we would joke about that all the time. Um, Incredible, man. After my first season, after they aired the complete first season, I was on the show. He actually called me. He got my number from production and called me, and we talked for like 2 hours.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, this dude he was just legendary. I used to listen to him on the Howard Stern show when I had like my first um, after school job in this perfumery. A lot of people didn't know I was a perfumer growing up at 17 years old. But anyway, that's another life. I might have been a perfumer if I didn't land into comedy. Who knows, man? I feel like I would have fit perfectly. I had a nose. I got the nose for it. That's for sure. But anyway, um, yeah, he called me and we talked for 2 hours, man. And he had a wide personality based on everything he's built and had went through. Legendary comedian, legendary person. No one can say a bad word about Richard Lewis.
Hmm.
He's all wearing all black, and and his honesty on stage was, come on, who was more honest than this dude? And he hit legendary status, man, in the comedic world, man. This dude was something else, man. And I remember he just was giving me these jewels that like made me better, actually. It made me even work harder and swing harder for the fences because comedians have a lot in common. We're able to absorb the world and able to reprocess it and give it back to our fans and people in a different way. You know
Mm.
what I mean? There is no news if the comedian isn't taking that sting off it and reprocessing it and giving it to you in another way. I always believe that. Our problems are your problems. So you can relate to Richard Lewis being on stage, telling you his all the things he's been through in an honest way, because someone in that audience is going to realize, hey, he's talking about me. I can connect with this guy. He's making me laugh. He's making me think. but he's also honest in what he's been through. And man, when that dude said, "Yeah, you're like, you know what?" He said, "You're like Jimi Hendrix, JB." And that was a big compliment because I find Jimi Hendrix to be someone who took chances, someone who was very talented in music. And we as
Mhm.
comedians have to be influenced by everything. We got to be influenced by trees, music, other comedians, uh, TV, films, uh, walking down the street, riding the subway. We got to be influenced by everything because we got to be able to talk about everything we can on stage. That's
Mhm.
what makes us unique. And we had this connection with each other. His stories were incredible. Just an amazing person on camera and off camera. Um, yeah, man, we would laugh, man, and like I said, these are real friends. So
Yeah.
they so he was always candid with me about everything. He was always honest and funny, but man, he always had a take on everybody because they all know each other. It's nuts, man, to sit there and watch the process. We had a scene one time on Curb, man. I couldn't tell if it was real or not. No, because the show is improvised. I could not tell if these knuckleheads were serious or was it the scene. That's how deep it got. And I was like, these. I said, I'm sitting in my little chair, like, is this shit real? It made me
Well,
laugh, but I was like, it was funny, but I was like, ooh, they're kind of jabbing at each other really good here. I wonder if this is some real background here because they are playing versions of, you know, over exaggerated versions of themselves.
right.
So there is a little bit of them in the character.
Well, the Emmy nominations are coming up, JB, and I'm wondering if you get nominated for Curb Your Enthusiasm, you have to pick one episode to send to the judges as kind of like the best of your work. And do you have an episode in mind if this happens?
Woo wee. I feel like, oh my God, man, that's a hard one. Damn it. Mm.
And while you think about it, I'll remind people you won an Emmy in 2021 for you were in a short form series called Mapleworth Murders. So
Yes,
you already have a trophy on your mantle. Congratulations.
I do have a trophy of my mantle, man. Thank you so much. That was a fun series to do. Thank you so much. Um, Getting one for Leon would be incredible. Um, Man, woo wee. I think it might be. Let me see if I remember the name of that. The name of the episode is. Uh, it's the episode where Vince Vaughn, um, where he wanted Leon to um, impregnate the woman, and Leon got a little consultation with the husband and the wife. Um, Jeez, what's the name of that episode? Oh, I get confused with the name of the episode. Let me see. I know it when I see it. Um, Man, I think that's the name of it. Let me see. Episodes.
Was
Uh,
it vertical drop, horizontal tug?
ooh, I think I think it was. Let me see. I'll tell you right now. I think it was that. But that episode to me, um, that would be the one. I think that's it. Because I feel like sometimes I think it's me being on camera the most, but sometimes it's not that.
Right.
It's the content of the episode and the impact that Leon had on the episode itself. But that to me is one. But damn it, there's also oh, damn it, it's two, it's two, it's two, it's two. But I think it's that one though. I feel like my interaction with Larry, my interaction with the couple, my interaction with Vince Vaughn, it was like four scenes in a row that led up to Leon being in bed with this woman. It was the one with with the dog, with the wolf, the coyote. It's a coyote episode. What's that one called?
Right.
Oh, darn it.
That was a good one. I
That's the episode. It's the coyote one. It's the coyote.
I
Um,
also love the one where you got kicked out of the
buffet.
restaurant for eating too
Oh
much of
man,
the all you can eat food was a good one.
that's another good one, man. I said, oh, if this was a brothel, I would be pissed. That was fun to do. That was fun, and that's where we talked about the Pierce. The Pierce, which is a great idea. You know, you
Mm.
think no one look, you invent a car that can run on piss. Let me tell you something. You will be assassinated. You will not live if you figure that. You figure that out. You figure out a way of recycling your own pee into a vehicle and drive of your own power, your own pee power. You will not live long enough to produce that car. They will get rid of you. Big oil will get rid of you, man. You can't survive inventing a car that runs on pee based on how many Gatorades you drink or water bottled waters. you can't.
Well,
You can't live.
JB,
You can't do it.
it has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today, and I'm my fingers are crossed that magic strikes here at the Emmy Awards. You deserve it. The whole cast deserves it. It's just one of the best shows in recent memory, and the finale, the series finale, is top tier stuff. So congrats to everybody.
Marcus, man, it has been a pleasure playing this character, Leon. I would love to be nominated. I would love to be in the conversation. I'm like that. Of course, everybody would love to win. I would love to be in the conversation. For your consideration.
Mm.
I would love that, and I think the show deserves it. I think the show has proven that you don't get 12 seasons out of nowhere. You don't get people wishing it was coming back. And I told that, and I also said, if you do come back, Larry David, because I don't trust him. I told him, I said, I don't trust you, Larry. But if you should call me one day and want to come back, don't do season 13. You jump over it and you come back. Your campaign is Curb is back, season 14. Because nobody wants to come back for 13. It's bad luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day, okay?
Marcus, be cool, brother.